This was supposed to be a documentary to tell the truth, everything. And I mean, who would bring somebody to his life and open up all the way and wanted to lie about it? You know, if I want to lie about it, don't even do it. He didn't have to do this documentary. Nobody forced him to do this documentary.
After a full day spent with children from the Make-A-Wish Foundation at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, what was Mr. Bashir's comment? We'll quote directly from his appearance on ABC's Primetime Thursday. One of the most disturbing things is the fact that a lot of disadvantaged children go to Neverland. It's a dangerous place for a vulnerable child to be. Now, I'm not saying that I saw any evidence of Michael Jackson being involved sexually with any children. Quite the contrary. But what I'm saying is that children who are vulnerable should not be going into the house of a billionaire superstar where they sleep in his bed. As we said, that was Bashir's comment heard on TV by millions of people. But what did Bashir say to Michael Jackson about this day at Neverland? Let's take a look at the footage that was captured by Michael's camera, documenting the interviews.
The problem is, you see, nobody actually comes here and sees it. But I was here yesterday, and I saw it, and it's nothing short of a spiritually kind thing.
He does it all the time.
I know, but I've told him.
A lot of people see it, but
they never talk about it, and I've said this to him, and what I've wanted to convey is those two things. Yeah. And what we've had the privilege of doing this week is not only talking about the musical genius, but about what we saw yesterday, which was incredible.
The woman you see has been Michael's makeup artist for over 20 years. After listening to the glowing praise Bashir had for Michael in this interview, she had a very hard time believing he could call Neverland a dangerous place for children.
I've never read about that. I didn't even...
It's so hard for me to imagine that Michael opened up the gates not only to Neverland, but to his heart, to Bashir. And I really thought that Bashir got it.
It's getting worse.
He does, I mean, I can't tell you, I know look at him, you never see anybody talk about that stuff.
But when Michael's talking, but when he's talking about the things that he's passionate about, it's obvious that it's in his eyes. This is what's in his heart.
People usually don't ask these questions, I think. That's it. And if they do, they don't make it. They don't make it in the papers. They don't make it on the interviews. It's all the negative stuff.
Stupid rumors.
And they cut questions out, and they just like they make it. That's why he doesn't even do interviews anymore. They twist everything. From the moment I met him, I mean, I remember. How can people be so cruel? Like, I read an article about time. He goes,
it's disgusting. Well, we ain't doing that here.
Now, what could make an award-winning journalist have such a different opinion between what he would say on the air and what he would say in the interview footage not included in his special? It appears that after Mr. Bashir had called cut for his own camera crew, he may well have forgotten that Michael's camera was still recording his every word, a possibility supported by a written request from both him and the producers of his special to make Michael's footage available for their review. The different opinion expressed by Mr. Bashir regarding the safety of the underprivileged children who visit Neverland is only the first of several contradictory moments captured on tape, all of which you will see and hear on this program.
With Michael's ex-wife.
As much as I do not speak about my family, I will. Right now.
Michael makes a long overdue confession.
You had sex with Debbie. Yes. I know that's difficult for me to say because you're so embarrassed. But you actually had sex with her. You conceived those children.
Yes.
And Debbie tells us about the result.
And then his son was born. And the look on his face.
Plus, a very surprising revelation from Michael's private cameras. All when we return to the Michael Jackson interview, the footage you were never meant to see.
Debbie Rowe.
What's happened in the past is things have been taken out of context, twisted around. If I can help straighten it out, as much as I do not speak about my family, I will. Right now.
When I was talking to Prince one day, he said to me that he didn't have a mother.
He said he didn't have a mother?
Yeah, I said, Prince, where's your mummy? And he said, I haven't got a mother.
That's right.
Did you tell him to say that?
No.
What do you think he means when he says, I haven't got a mother?
Like he said he didn't have a mother.
My kids don't call me Mom because I don't want them to. They're Michael's children. It's not that they're not my children, but I had them because I wanted him to be a father. I believe that there are people who should be parents, and he's one of them. And he is such a fabulous man and such a good friend, and he's always been there for me, always, from the day I met him. I could do something for him, and this is what I wanted to do.
Most people think Michael and Debbie's relationship was very short-term. Actually, they met over 22 years ago.
Was it intense, Bam? No. No, it was over time. It was over time. I think it was 18 years, 17, 18 years that I knew him when I had Prince.
In that time, they've gone on some very unusual outings, often with Michael in disguise.
Yeah, he'd call, what are you doing? Nothing, what are you doing? When I go to the video, yeah. You know, we'd sneak out without security. We got caught. And it's, oh my God, this is like a Beatles film. We're getting chased by people. We'd have to call security and they'd bail us out. But yeah, we'd go out and do stuff.
So you'd go out to the ranch.
Sneak him into premieres and things. Yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time. He's always a lot of fun.
When did Michael start talking about wanting to have kids? Was this when he was still with Lisa Marie, or? No,
they had broken up, and I was trying to console him because he was really upset, and he was upset that he said he really wanted to be a dad, and I said, so be a dad. And he looked at me puzzled, and I said, let me do this. I want to do this. You've been so good to me. You're such a great friend. Please let me do this. I said, you need to be a dad. I want to do this. And no. I nagged him into it, if you will.
She's a wonderful person.
She knew that Michael Jackson loves children.
Yeah.
And she knew that Michael Jackson wanted children.
That's why.
And she
You need to be a daddy.
Right. She said you needed to be a daddy. More than she needed to be a mother.
Yeah. She wanted to do that for me as a present.
And if you're talking about romance, maybe then, if you want to have a marker, if that makes you and the rest of America feel that they need a marker, then you could probably use that.
Once Debbie's pregnancy became common knowledge, the tabloid world had one burning question. Did they or didn't they?
The first two crystal parents from Debbie, which was natural conception.
You had sex with Debbie?
Yes.
I know that's difficult for me to say because you're so embarrassed. But you actually had sex with her. You conceived those children.
Yes.
From the first moment Debbie learned she was pregnant, Michael warned her of what was to come.
He said, you don't know what they can do. And I said, oh, Michael, come on. We're having a baby. No, people have baby. We're having a baby. Come on. How can that be weird? We're having a kid. If anything, that's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's great. Boy, was I wrong. I found out at one point a picture of me pregnant was worth $500,000. To who and why? Have they never, ever seen someone pregnant before? Am I supposed to look different pregnant because it's Michael's baby than someone else?
As you've heard, the decision to have Michael's child was easy for Debbie. The actual birth was another matter.